can stake HEX and mine crypto trustlessly in our cold storage wallet with mining equipment that doesn't age and doesn't waste electricity. If you don't think that's a revolution in crypto, like, just keep getting wrecked for a little bit longer. You know, like, just like you don't see how powerful that is, right? And for all of the influencers, all of the YouTube influencers that want to call this a scam for the past 10 months, and for all of the centralized entities, CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, and Binance, and all the exchanges that wouldn't list us, right? Because they know seriously how powerful this is. This is just code. This is just code, but
Right.
you know, it kind of depends on the quality of the code. And if it's serious code, we saw Bitcoin taught us what that code is capable of doing in 10 years. It showed us what immutable code is. It's indifferent to your bunk ass opinions. It's going to do what it does. So Hex's code is going to keep chugging along day in and day out, and eventually you guys are going to see that it's coming. This is a store of value takeover. Hex will be the store of value heavyweight champion. That's done. It's already happened, right? So what this is telling us, this chart right here is telling us, is this hex has to expire, right? So 22 million hex has to surrender that sweet share rate, that initial share rate. And it you can hit that. Yeah, like tear it up, like hit that thing. I don't give a shit. It's like it has to surrender that share rate. And when those shares expire, they're essentially burned. And the one thing in Hex that becomes more rare are these shares, because the share rate only goes up. So when these shares are burned, right, and then this Hex wants to restake for longer, they have to stake longer. They have to stake more Hex for longer to even approximate the share rate. But this right here is going to spike that share rate up dramatically. You know, like we see here that it will take 10,924 Hex to equal 1 trillion shares, right? We type that in 10,924, right? For 1 day, and that is essentially 1 trillion shares, right? That's what it's telling you. But in December, to get 1 trillion shares, you only needed 10,000 Hex. So like, let's just see real quick. Right? In December, like, you only needed 10,000 Hex to get you 1 trillion shares. Well, now 10,000 Hex buys you, you know, like 85% of the shares. It's down 15%. Or no, I'm wrong about that. It's down almost 10%. It's just shy of 10% is what it is, right? And what ratchets it up is people ending stakes and receiving the highest ROI. And this right here is the highest ROI the Hex contract has ever seen, because it's not even a year old yet. So this is what is going to ratchet this price up. And so when you stake 10, you know, when you have to stake 15,000 Hex to get 1 trillion shares, well, that's what you got to do now. That's what everyone in the world has to do. They all abide by the same laws,
Yes.
right? So that's what that's going to be. And we don't know how much it's going to ratchet it up. We can see on hexinfo.io a chart. This is the share price chart. We can see, like, why is it rugged? Look at that. It's rugged. Like, it doesn't go up right. And what's that little jump right up there, right here? What is that? Right? Like, that's people ending their stake in the HEX contract going, whoa, we got to ratchet the share price up so that if they restake all that HEX and the interest that they got, they won't, even if they stake all their HEX and their interest, they still won't get the same share rate. That's the point. Like, you can't game the system by taking your interest and restaking for even more shares to eventually take over the system. That's what it's for, right? But what it does is force you to realize that it doesn't matter where you are, what day it is, today will always be the best day to stake your HEX. Yes. That's what it does in practice. That's what it means. So that's powerful. This is a whole complete financial system that Richard Hart has developed and launched, and there are many different narratives that are going to come out and affect crypto from it. I'm telling you right now, I already see them start to permeate. Bitcoin miners have to sell Bitcoin to the tune of $1 million an hour just to pay for the electricity to run Bitcoin, right? We're not talking about mining equipment.
No.
We're not, like, that's an arms race that it created. We're talking about tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars in just mining equipment. Not to mention electricity. They have to sell that, which is bad for your pump, in order to maintain the network. Well, the sell pressure, that's sell pressure in Bitcoin. That's why it won't go up past like $11, $12, $13, $14,000. And that's a narrative that no one in crypto wants to talk about. Richard Hart's been talking about it. He launched HEX. Yes. He designed HEX based on that narrative. And get ready for that narrative. Get ready to hear about how miners are dumping again, which is why the price has gone down. They don't want to talk about it. The reason why the price pressure that comes from HEX is from people who mint their stakes and go, hey, I can sell this interest that I made not to buy new mining equipment because I was paid in new mining equipment, because HEX is mining equipment. I don't need to sell my HEX for mining equipment. I just got mining equipment, and I don't have to sell my HEX to pay my electric bill. That's not the price pressure. The price pressure is coming from people in the HEX contract that realize a return on investment via passive income, via trustless interest, saying, hey, it's time to sell a little bit and get paid. And then I'm going to restake that for further and make more passive income via trustless interest. That's the supply and demand dynamics of HEX. And that will always be the supply and demand of dynamics of HEX going forward into the future. If you don't see the potential in that, if you don't see the revolution in that, you're in crypto for the wrong reasons. Okay? You're here for get rich quick, like gains, greed driven, like all that nonsense, and you're not here for the revolution. Well, we're all these hexicans that see this, who understand the first principle the ideas that are baked into crypto and the reason why crypto is here. We understand those. We understand that decentralization, trustless interest, peer-to-peer, borderless cryptocurrency is the future, which is HEX is all of that and more.
Yes, it is.
And that's why we're staked. And we're going to get paid. We weren't here for the greed. We were here for the revolution. And it's going to benefit. It's going to pay off because we saw it. We saw it first and we acted on it. And after November, when that share price does a 5x, right? Mm-hmm. And you got to stake more HEX that's probably at a higher price point for longer, you're going to learn then and there why you were here for the wrong reasons. And you listen to people, influencers who are paid by shill links, people who try to get you into exchanges to trade and lose money, right? When you can be making passive income via trustless interest on your cold storage wallet and go on about your life and forget about crypto until it's time to end a HEX stake and get paid, right? Yep. That's this revolution.